Shabbat shalom, everyone. How wonderful to have everybody here. I know it's going to go up to 80 again next week, but this little nip of fall. I saw fall because I looked at the trees and I saw one tree already is reddish green. Already the colors are turning a bit. And so I just, and in Minnesota where I'm from, well, the tops of the trees start turning in August. So I'm ready for this. I'm not ready for football. What I'm ready is for the fall. I'm ready to have this wonderful last deep breath that we have before we enter into our school season, the holiday season, everything that we do. And we're going to do it with our Shabbat, with a couple additions of songs, things that people may not know, but some of them are rooted in tradition that you would like to teach tonight. So in your prayer book, there is a song called Achat Sha'alti. This is way in the back of your prayer book.
It's on page 358.
This is why I depend on her to tell me page numbers that I can't do. Why would we do a song that you've never heard before? Well, it's throughout the month of Elul, which is the last month of the Jewish year. It's traditional to read or refer to Psalm 27. 350 what?
358.
358.
Using the black numbers.
So instead of reading all of Psalm 27 out loud, there's this lovely musical rendering of it. And before we do the music, because Rabbi Gorbin's going to lead the singing tonight, I'm just going to be her backup. Let's read the 3-line translation together, where it says at the top of the page, together, one thing I ask of Adonai, only that do I seek, to live in the house of all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai, and to frequent God's temple. One, two. She's going to do that again. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh.
And it repeats.
Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh.
Good, we're going to go to the next part.
Shivti b'veit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachazot b'noam Adonai uvaker b'chalo
Lachazot
b'noam Adonai uvaker b'chalo.
Let's do that second part again.
Shivti b'veit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachot b'noam Adonai levaker b'chalo lachot b'noam Adonai uvaker b'chalo. Just the beginning part, Achat. Achat sha'alti et Adonai ota vakesh. Achat sha'alti et Adonai ota vakesh. We're going to ask the Gordon family to meet us up on the pulpit for the lighting of candles for Shabbat on page 2 and 3 of your prayer books. It's our custom to please rise as you are able. So Darcy, why don't you light, and everybody will do the blessing together. There you go. There you go. Go in vertical. Amen. So, please remain standing and turn to the next page. Rebecca, you pick up the Kiddush cup. On page 4, it says, Vayera Vayivoker Yom HaShishi. There was evening and morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it, God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. On the facing page, pick a key. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha me'ahava uvratzon Inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Have a drink. Everyone have a seat, please. It's just juice, you know that.
We're going to turn to page 6. There's a passage at the top, an intention for us as we start our service that we don't often read, but I'd like to read it tonight. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
Please turn ahead to page 9 in the middle, and we read at the bottom of the page together our hope to give thanks this Shabbat. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living.
For Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness.
For Shabbat peace born of friendship and love.
We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
So turn ahead 2 pages to page 12. To the first of the Kabbalat Shabbat Psalms, L'chu Neranana. We do the first 4 lines in Hebrew. It's pretty catchy. If you don't know it already, we've only done it for 15 years here. But we hope that you will sing along by the 2nd or 3rd time through. L'chu Neranana, L'chu Neranana, L'chu Neranana L'Adonai. L'chu Neranana, L'chu Neranana, L'chu Neranana L'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Latzor Ishenu, Nekadma, Fano Betoda. Naria, Naria, Latzor Ishenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. L'chu Neranena, L'chu Neranena, L'chu Neranena L'Adonai. 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 Well, greeting Shabbat with joy. We turn ahead to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. We greet the Shabbat as a bride. And I have to tell my partner over here, Rabbi Gorbin, that I changed my mind. This is the last time we're going to do this year. This is the version I do at camp, and it's the last breath of summer, so I love doing this tune. We do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. It's our custom, if you are willing, to stand up and face the rear for the 9th verse, which greets Shabbat as the bride, and we bow to this side when we say, Boi Kala, may the bride come in. And we bow toward the parking lot. Maybe the bride will come in from there. We're not sure. If, in any case, the bride of Shabbat will settle as a spirit in this beautiful community. La 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 lechadodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. La 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 lechadodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. Bela verse 1. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad. U'shemo echad. L'shemo tiferet v'litilai. Dai, dai, dai. La 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 lechadodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. Bela verse 2. Likrat Shabbat. Lechu v'nelcha. Ki mekor haberacha. Merosh mikedem. Nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'mashvat chilai. Dai, dai, dai. La 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 lechadodi, lechadodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. Bela verse 5. Idorari. Idorari. Orech umi ori uri uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich niglai. Dai 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 la 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 lechadodi. La 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 la. Please rise and face the rear if you will. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. Bela verse 9. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Dam b'simcha u'tzola. Toch emunei am segula. Be out of the left. Boi chala to the right. Boi chalai. Die, die, die. La 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 lechadodi. Have a seat. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. La 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 lechadodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikah. Bela. If you turn the page, you'll find the psalm for the Sabbath day. It's called Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Rabbi Gorbin has started to teach us a new tune. We've done it for about 3 weeks in a row. It's more meditative. And if you don't know it, we'll just let the words wash over you. Or hear it the first or second time, and then maybe you'll be able to join in.
And we start on the third line of the Hebrew. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai.
give thanks to God.
Second part.
להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, באמונתך בלילות, טוב טוב להודות לאדוני.
Second part again.
להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, באמונתך בלילות, טוב טוב להודות לאדוני.
Just la la. Lai, dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. Please turn the page. This section of our service ends with Shalom Aleichem. And many of you grew up with this beloved tune, and that's what we'll sing tonight. We can only give you so many new tunes in one night, you know. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please turn the page, and as you're able, rise for the Chatzi Kaddish before the Baruch Hu. Yikara v'yikadash shemei Rabbah v'yoma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'hagala b'hagala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yeshmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olal me'amayim Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitamav v'yanaseh v'yitadar v'yitalal shemei dekodesha brich le'elam en kol bechata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata dachamihiram be'olma v'yimeru Amen. Turn the page for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship,
which is on page 146 for those of you who may not quite be with us.
Baruch Hu echet Adonai hamevorach. Now you. Baruch Adonai seated, everyone.
Page 148. I think it's 8 or 9 lines down. We have the words Borei Yom V'Layla, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, V'Choshech Mipnei Or. You who roll light into darkness and darkness into light.
Roll into
dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day. No guitar. Roll into light, roll into dark. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. On page 33, or 151, since I guess I gave you the blue numbers accidentally. Let's read together in the middle of the page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Please rise as you are able for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shen Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shen Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated.
Page 36, we join together.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We join together in English underneath the Hebrew we just chanted. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. On page 39, we join together at the top of the page one of my favorite passages in the Siddur. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele, nora tehilot o sefele. Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele, nora tehilot o sefele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam ze Eli anu ve'amru Adonai lo le'olam va'ed Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
I think it's time for a new tune.
I think it's time for a new tune. I know we've been hitting you with a lot. And so Hashkivenu happens to be probably my favorite prayer. So there are lots of melodies, a lot of melodies that I find very beautiful. And while I love the version that we've been singing by Dan Nichols, there's a new one that's actually not so new that I would love to also incorporate into our repertoire. And this one even has the words on the left-hand side of the page.
There's a wonderful Jewish composer named Noah Aronson. He wrote an album called The Left Side of the Page, because there are all these readings that were never put to music on the left side of the page in this prayer book, and that's what he undertook to do.
So we're just going to sing the first two lines of the English, and then we'll go over to the Hebrew on the facing page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. That repeats. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let's do that again. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Try with me. Hashkivenu, Adonai.
It's the right side of the page.
Hashkivenu, shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. I don't know about you, but I got chills listening to us sing it.
I love that.
Page 44 is V'shamru, a song for Shabbat.
Old one.
And we're going to do the old ones so that you have something super familiar.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael Od hi leolam, od hi leolam V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam Eshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam U'bayom hashmi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam. Please rise as you are able as you turn the page to
46 or 164.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Turn the page. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Havot V'imahot, V'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Turn the page. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh kol ataram lehoshia, Mohorid hatav, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Sohomech noflim v'rofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato li shenei achafar, Michamocha bal givurot, Umidoho mehalach, Melech memir umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Turn the page again. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalaluhu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. And we continue on page 55. We join together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Page 59. I don't know about the rest of you, but I do tell time by the moon. Not the hours, but the seasons and where we are in the month. And we're getting right about up to the full moon, which means we are very close to Rosh Hashanah.
2 weeks to finish sermons.
Got a little bit longer than that, just not a whole lot more. So as someone who pays a lot of attention to the world around me, I'd like for us to join together in the middle of the page on page 59. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulachana ele hodot. And with all of this power and authority given to us, we have to use it to work for peace. So we sing a song of peace on page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
With prayers of peace in our hearts, we offer the prayers of our hearts as we offer our silent prayer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen. That last part together. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן, ואמרו amen. If you turn in your books to 253, I don't know what it is in the non-parentheses,
376.
is a Mishaberach that we offer for those who are not
Sorry,
well.
371.
Everybody here knows somebody who's not well. Everybody here knows somebody who's struggling. Everybody here is carrying somebody in their heart that you just wish that life would be a little easier for, if only their health would improve, they weren't so sad or lonely, if they somehow did not struggle with the daily battles of life the way they do. And it's our custom here that if you want to simply hold on to that person into your heart, please do so. But if you choose to, you might say the name out loud, either softly or put it into the atmosphere here so we can take that name into our collective heart with the hope for healing. I'm especially thinking of Asher Lev Ben Devorah Lenny Bernstein, who is now at home in hospice care. I'm thinking of Ellen Solomon, who's had such a hard road, and Cindy Goodman and Henry Mordeau, who's stuck in the ICU at Shadyside. But if there are those for whom you are wishing healing of body, mind, and spirit, when I look at you, please feel free to say a name out loud or just nod. Let me know that you're thinking of somebody. Please don't raise your hand. This ain't school.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say amen. fortuitous that in the Jewish lectionary, how we read Torah, the Parsha of the week is Ki Teitzei. It has many laws about everything from how to go to war justly to how to set up a society. And one of the ways you're supposed to set up a society is having a fair way to work and be paid. The idea that this comes on the eve of Labor Day, I think the term is bashert. Bashert means it's part of a divine plan. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than all of us. How can we go into Labor Day and not think about our first job? Babysitting for 50 cents. Who babysat? Anybody? You've got more than 50 cents, though. You had to, right? 1969, I had finished 10th grade, and I started to go every day of that summer to the beach at Lake Harriet in Minneapolis to play with my friends. And my mother pulled me aside and said, "Who do you think is paying for your college?" I said, "You?" And she just smiled. She said, "Get to work, find a job." I went out to the suburbs of Minneapolis, Richfield, and I found work at an Arby's. It was $1.75 an hour, a 1 15-minute break. I had an 8-hour shift the first day. The second day, they gave me a 12-hour shift. They said, you can take 20 minutes for a break. And in those days, I didn't keep kosher. All the cheddar and beef I wanted, all the milkshakes I wanted in 20 minutes. You cannot eat that much in 20 minutes. I worked from 1 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning, and I prepared to punch out. And they said, "Where are you going?" "You have to clean all the machines." After 4.5 hours of cleaning all the machines, I had worked from 1 in the morning to 5 the next day. 1 in the afternoon to 5 the next day. And I made sure it glistened. And I got on my bike and I said, "Adios." I went to watch the sunrise over Lake Harriet, although my friends weren't there. My mother said, "Try again." So I went to a nursing home, and they said they needed somebody to run the dishwasher, to put all the dishes in, to put them in the machine, to have the big thing come down to wash them and take them out. My job was to pluck things out after they were dry, after they had just gone through their hot cycle. And at that time, I played piano quite seriously, and every time I touched the dishes, I burned 2 layers of my fingers. They said, use gloves, and when I dropped 10 plates, they said, don't use gloves. When I dropped 4 layers of fingers on my hands, I stopped that. And then I said to my dad, who was in business, "Can't you get me a job in an office somewhere?" And he found a friend, and I spent the rest of the summer puttering around. Finally, I found my niche the next year, where I worked 3 straight summers in the Hennepin County Welfare Department running the Xerox machine. The Xerox machine of the Hennepin County Welfare Department was from here to here. It was massive. Do you remember these things? And it had large orange dials to tell you what number of copies you were making, and I had to make sure this thing was up and running. I had to clean it. I had to put it in powder toner, which if you sneezed, got everything in the world filthy. And I did this every single day. It was boring as sin, except I broke the rules. They said, every one of these files is a welfare case. Don't you read them. I read every case. How in the world was I going to make 8 hours go by without reading all the welfare cases and finding out about humanity? And I got paid, after the deductions, I got paid $64 a week. And I put it all away. When I went to college, I had a grand total of $7 a week to live. By Wednesday, I was tapped out. My friends would want to go out for late night coffee, and I was always bumming nickels and dimes and quarters off of them. And then I came back to work. Working is noble in Judaism. You don't work if you're a jerk. You don't work because you can't do anything else. You don't work because you didn't get an inheritance or win $765 million in the lottery the way that woman in Massachusetts did. You work because work is ennobling and work has to be valued. And we have a verse in this week's Torah portion, Al ta'ashok et sechir. You shall not abuse the hired hand. We already are told in Leviticus 19, you have to pay your workers on time. And yes,
Employees have a responsibility too. If you gold brick, that's an old term for just being lazy on the job, just so you know. It's theft, because you're stealing your employer's money. But Jewish law is weighted toward the worker. That you must take care of workers not by giving them welfare per se, but by giving them an opportunity. When Maimonides gives us the eightfold ladder of tzedakah, of righteous giving, the highest level is not how much you give, it's giving somebody an opportunity to earn for themselves. Working is ennobling. And yet we've lost that. People work, and we work, and we work, and because, without getting too political, the way our capitalist society has grown and changed because of the decrease in private sector unions, the income inequality has grown like this. It is possible to work 2 jobs and not be able to feed your family. It is possible to work in what is supposed to be ennobling and find it soul-crushing. It is possible to do what you have to do to work and still have to make desperate choices at the end of the month. Feeding your children, feeding your aging mother, or buying medicine. Now, I am not a communist. I am not even a socialist, although I do believe we have a responsibility to each other as a society. Capitalism creates wealth. Communism says, here's the pie, you get a crumb, and if you're really nice, and then up, you get a berry, right? Capitalism is about baking pies when it's done right. Capitalism got me a really nice jacket. I like this jacket. But the idea of capitalism being simply about the short-term quarterly report is a way to crush people and make people into things. And if there's one thing we know from Judaism is that people are not things. Every single one of you, a unique gift of God that never was and never will be after you are gone, long, many years from now after you're gone. And so we believe that labor ennobles, and we believe that we work toward what President Clinton used to call a hand up, not a hand out. He had a lot of great phrases like that. I should do a sermon on just Clintonian phrases. How many of you had a first job that paid less than $5 an hour? Look around, young people. And somehow you grew. Somehow, whether it was just showing up on time, doing a task, you learned what tasks you could do and couldn't do. You learned what tasks you liked and couldn't stand. The year after I finished the University of Michigan, I was a trained high school history teacher, 1975. I went down to be with my longtime girlfriend, now my wife for 40 years, Barbara Gibson. I went down to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was told by my people in the ed school at Michigan that because I had glowing reviews of my professors, I could get a job teaching high school history. That was wonderfully laughable. In 1975, if you were not teaching math, science, or special ed, you were not getting a job. It was the baby bust. They were turning schools into nursing homes. And so I got a job through a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of my family's down there in a costume jewelry store. It was a warehouse, and they got stuff from Taiwan and the Far East, and I simply had to break it down out of paper packages, count it all, and then get it ready to be put into bins to be given to retailers to sell. Now, how many of you have known me more than 10 years? How many of you realize the flaw in this that I just told you? That it involved me counting. And when I messed up the third huge batch of costume jewelry from Taiwan, they said, you might want another line of work. I said, thank you for letting me try. I went to get a job at my best friend's father's incredible place, Standard Textile, which makes textiles for hospitals, for hotels all over the world. And I said, Mr. Frankel, he was a Holocaust survivor, he was a great, great man. I need a job. Can I have a job? And he looked over my application. He said, people who work for us work for 20 years. You want to work for 3 months? No. The best refusal I ever got. I finally went to my father, Alava Shalom, whose grave we just unveiled this weekend in Minneapolis. I said, Dad, how am I going to make it in this world? And he said something, and I don't want to insult you, because there are people on the board here at services tonight, please, past presidents. My father took me aside, put his arm around me, and said, Jamie, if you want to be happy and successful in life, find something you love to do, and then find people silly enough to pay you to do it. I get to be involved with the Jewish community every day. I get to be involved with social justice every day. I get to be involved in learning every day. I get to work with this amazing colleague over here every single day and an amazing cantor who has the night off. I get to try to be there with you in your times of greatest joy and greatest challenge. But it started by being willing to work. So when you see people on Monday morning at 7 in the morning lobbying for $15 an hour, you might say, oh, people don't create enough wealth to pay $15 an hour. But know that they're marching not for that money alone. They're marching for dignity. Every worker needs dignity. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. So I hope and pray as we get toward Yom HaAvodah, Labor Day, that you think of this law. In Deuteronomy 24, verse 14, you shall not oppress the hired hand or the poor in your midst. It says, Achicha, your kinsman, and then it says, Gercha b'sha'arecha, even the stranger in your midst. You don't get to oppress people because dignity and work go hand in hand. Everyone needs a hand up, not a hand out. It's difficult to make it in the world today. I don't know what I would do if I was starting right now. But I know that everybody who works, I give them my respect because they've earned it. May we, Jews who worked, we Jews invented labor unions in America. How many remember the International Lady Garment Workers Union? We Jews understand what it is to work, and we must not turn our back on those who do just because some of us have made it. May this be a lovely time of hot dogs. May the Pirates actually win a game. May you, when you see the labor parade, if you watch it on TV, don't worry about their politics. Worry about their work, and if they have it. A coda. Last week I was at the Minnesota State Fair, the second largest attended state fair in the country after Texas. But the Texas is 2 weeks long, and this is only 12 days. They average 140,000 people a day. And you go there to see exhibits and to smell animals and to see farm implements and to do rides, and hopefully they don't fly off the handle the way they did in Ohio. And you go, what else do you do to a state fair? Oh my God, do you eat? I haven't had French fried cheese curd since I left Wisconsin 30 years ago. Oh my gosh. People are buying buckets of fresh chocolate chip cookies, $16, and the lid won't go on. And so you have to stand there and eat enough to get the lid to go on. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm passing by all these things. There are political people out because there's a primary election in Minnesota, and I see the AFL-CIO is giving a little talk. And there's an old guy there, and he's saying, and now I have a $10 food card from our local grocery chain for anybody who can tell me what is the union represented by a man holding a lightning bolt. A guy, a Minnesotan, says, well, Minnesota. The American electrical people, no. Nobody can get it. And I said, excuse me, and I'm wearing with my Barbara. So yes, you over there, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, come on up. He gives me the $10 certificate that I give to my mom. He says, where are you from? You're wearing a Michigan jacket. No, I'm not from Michigan. Where are you from? Pittsburgh. He said, he sang on KDKA when he was 5 years old. And he talked about how Pittsburgh, to this day, is still looked at a place where unions matter and where workers should be accorded dignity. If you take away anything tonight from my words, it's that if you work for a paycheck, you should be afforded dignity. Amen. So this is one of the very first songs I ever learned from Debbie Friedman. It's an English song. It's not Jewish at all. It's part of the folk tradition. The chorus goes, for our hands are strong and our hearts are young, and the dreamer keeps the dream and ages on. Excuse me, that's too low. For our hands are strong and our hearts are young, and the dreamer keeps the dreaming ages on. Keeps the dreaming along. Keeps the dreaming, keeps the dreaming. What do we do when we needed corn? What do we do when we needed corn? We plowed and we sowed till the early morn. What do we do when we needed corn? We plowed and we sowed till the early morn. For our hands are strong and our hearts are young, and the dreamer keeps a dreaming ages long. Keeps a dreaming along.
You're not going to join me?
Keeps a dreaming along. What do we do when we needed a town? We hammered and we nailed till the sun went down. What do we do when we needed a town? We hammered and we nailed till the sun went down. For our hands are strong and our hearts are young, and the dreamer keeps a dreaming ages. Keeps a dreaming along. Keeps a dreaming along. What do we do when it's peace we want? When it's more than one can soon or plant? We gather our friends from the ends of the earth to lend a hand in this hour of birth. We'll plow,
We'll
sow, we'll hammer, and we'll nail. We'll work all day till peace is real.
Is real?
Oh, for our hands are strong. Take 1, 2. For our hands are strong and our hearts are young, and the dreamer keeps a dreaming ages. And the dreamer keeps a dreaming ages. And the dreamer keeps a dreaming ages on. Your camp song session is officially over. That's the nice thing about having two people, because if you're playing guitar, you cannot do the hand motions. So just a few things. We're looking for greeters for the high holidays. People to actually welcome people and say, hey, Happy New Year, a good, sweet year. Oh, there are some seats over there. Oh, you've never been here. We need greeters, because if there's one thing the Reform movement has tried to harp on the last 5 years, it's having audacious hospitality. Audacious means not, here you go, they're over there. It's welcoming people with a big smile. And if you've been here more than a few years, we'd love it if you would help people be greeted. And we have a brief training on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Dinner's on me. I'm paying for dinner. It's a 6 o'clock Wednesday. We hope that some of you will think of coming and joining us so that you can get on those smiles and say Happy New Year and greet people. The following Friday, a week from today, we have the Shabbat barbecue, or the Shabbat, as we're calling it. The Shabbat barbecue, that's going to be our big welcome back in the year. It's going to be a free, are we charging anything? We are, okay. But sign up for it. Anybody needs help, we'll help them out. That's no big deal. And we're welcoming prospective members to our open house. We're going to learn about the Next Door new project-based curriculum of Rabbi Gorban, which is fantastic. 5:30 dinner. 7 o'clock, mostly musical Shabbat featuring our band. And please rizzavup, I think that's a verb, to rizzavup, right, online, or to Judy Mahan. Turn around, stand up, so they can see who you are. This is Judy. Stand up. Okay. The first day of religious school is Sunday the 10th, and the first day
Next Door, we are not calling it religious school.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had the wrong thing. The first day of Next Door. Also, the first Monday, teen school is the day after that, a week from this Monday. We regularized all our Shabbat services. No more 76, 78. So next week, when are services? In the middle of November, when are services? You are correct. Next January, when are they at? They're at 7 o'clock. You will never have to try to remember that again. If you would please find your prayer books. Before you find your prayer books, turn around to somebody you don't know and say Shabbat Shalom, please. As you do that, at the very end of our service, we'll have an Oneg Shabbat in the Falk Auditorium. Please, if you would, turn in your books to 282. It's 586 in the parentheses in the middle of the page. As you are able, please rise for our Aleinu, our concluding set of prayers. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latekru laliot sete breshit, shelo asana kagoyei aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu kor'im, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. As we prepare for Mourner's Kaddish, it's our custom to read the names of those whose yahrzeits occur in the coming week, and then those who have died more recently. If we read the name of somebody for whom you are saying Kaddish, we humbly request that you rise in your place so we know that you are recognizing a death, somebody so dear to you. At the very end of our list, we'll ask everyone to rise so that no mourner would need to stand alone. If we miss a name, as sometimes happen, just kind of look at me and go, oh, I have a name. And we'll add that name. This week we remember the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the death of Sam Alcaro, Lester Bernstein, Gerald Block, Gerald Brostoff, Rose Cohen, Hyman J. Ebenstein and Rena Edelstone, Alan Gerson, Sheldon Goldstein, Jerome G. Greenspan, Saul B. G. Hoffman, Dorothy Jacobson, Reza Katz and Phyllis Kaufman, Jack Kellman, William Daniel Cundon, Hyman Kushkin, Helen Lear, Erwin Levine, William Lewinter, Lloyd Livestone, Helen K. Michael and Fannie Morris, Paul Mulfelder, the Honorable Mayor Robert E. O'Connor Jr., Louis Olitsky, Theodore Pates, Albert Ross, Meyer Rubenstein, Steffi Goldman Rulin, Libby Ryev, Janet Schlesinger, Irene Schwartz and Isidore Schwartz, Michael Simon, Anna Smith, Eli Spokane, Lewis Walker, Minnie Soloff Weitz, and Shirley Winkler. Did we forget anyone? And now we remember the names of those who died in more recent days, whose deaths we still mourn. We mourn the death of Barry Goldstein, of Heather Heyer of Charlottesville, Virginia, of Pilot Burke M.M. Bates of Quinton, Virginia, Lieutenant H.J. Cullen of Midlothian, Virginia, Marvin Tanzer, the father of Peter, Charlene Tarlow, the aunt of Amy Dubin, and Mike Taube, the grandfather of Dima Harmon. We also call to mind all those who died tragically in Houston and in Louisiana, desperately trying to cling to life, who could not be saved. Those who died because of the forces of nature, our inability to save everyone who needed to be saved. And we honor the lives they lived and the memories that will be their legacy. And so it is that I ask everyone to rise as we turn ahead in our books to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Excuse me a second, I want to make sure that that's correct. Yes.
It's 598 in the blue numbers and brackets.
Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'yolma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayed d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'yamru. Amen.
Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha.
Brichu.
Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran b'yalma v'yamru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, upon all Israel, upon a world torn and desperately in need of peace, upon all of us who still mourn our beloved dead, as together we say,
Amen.
Amen. Our final song is called Eli, Eli.
And it's on page 349.
It was written by Chana Senesh. The original title was called Halicha LeKesaria, Walking of the Beach of Caesarea in Israel. And it was a poem to the incredible beauty and power of nature. We sing both the English, the Hebrew, and then the English verse. It's beautiful. I hope that you'll find it. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, hachol v'hayam, rish rush shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam, hachol v'hayam, rish rush shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Bruchim atem b'voachem u'bruchim atem b'tzeitchem me'ata v'ad olam. Blessed are you as you come into holy space, and blessed are you as you go out into the world. As you go out into the world, I hope that you remember the blessings and dignity of all who work to make our world a better place. As together we say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonot. Praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of all, who makes animal crackers and all good things that are baked. As together we say, Amen. Shabbat shalom. We'll see you out there on Shabbat.